the most feared war criminal of our time. Now guys, this was just a sneak peek, a glimpse at the Ghost Recon Future Soldier experience. Now I'd like to personally invite each and every one of you over to our VIP war room where you can see another extensive demo play of this, and you can ask our programmers any questions that you might have about gameplay. Now this game's going to be available first quarter 2011. Ubisoft making games that don't suck. Woo! Thank you.
What's going on, everybody? Gabe Shadamas here over at the Ubisoft booth checking out Ghost Recon Future Soldier. And I'm talking with Jean Bernard, the producer of the game. Jean, can you tell us a little bit about the history of this game, what time it takes place in, and kind of the backstory to it?
So Ghost Recon has always been about this fantasy of being an elite special force soldier in the near future. So this time again, we're going around 2015 to 2020, and we use some of the most advanced prototype technology of tomorrow that we believe is going to be on the battlefield tomorrow, such as the ground drones or air drones with machine guns, such as new weapons, and of course the optical camouflage.
Right. And you were telling me before that you work with the military and a lot of this technology, so a lot of this is backed up and it is in prototype or being developed, so it's kind of interesting to see it ahead of time in a game. How does the military respond to that? Have they been very supportive with you guys?
Yeah, they've been very supportive. There are obviously a lot of information they don't disclose, but we have access to some very cool stuff. They have a program called the Future Force Warrior Program, which always try to anticipate on the needs of the army for tomorrow. And so we have consultants that we work with. We do have some Navy SEALs in the team as well. We do have some great contacts. So we have always had this ability to pitch our ideas and to get some information from them to design new weapons, design new equipment.
And you guys recently announced 4-person co-op as well, and I know that there's individual classes within the game that have bonuses to them, and you can kind of team up with each other to give each other bonuses. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Actually, it's more about the gear that you're going to select, which is going to determine the kind of gameplay you want to have. So indeed, it's going to be a 4-player cooperative campaign. So you will be able to work in cooperation, natural cooperation we call it, in order to do some stuff like the synchronized shooting, for instance. Contrary to Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter, we didn't want to go into the micromanagement of your teammates, so it's going to be something more natural and more, I would say, in the flow of the game.
Right. And how many weapons do you have in this game exactly? Can you disclose that?
There's going to be a lot of those. We're looking at least 30 different weapons in all categories, and also mounted weapons and some special scripted scenes, like you may remember the gun rides from Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter. So everybody's doing gun rides now, so we have to look for something a little bit different. And we got some great ideas. I'm sure.
Now, is there going to be a competitive multiplayer to this game, and can you explain a little bit about that?
Well, there's a great history in the franchise for adversarial gunplay. We are still working with Redstone, who's our online expert on the subject. So we will be playing in 6 versus 6 matches. The most interesting novelty compared to Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter is that we've revamped the engine. It's running at 60 frames per second now. That's going to make a tremendous improvement to the multiplayer aspects of the game.
How many people can play in each match?
6 versus 6.
6 versus 6.
We're actually currently testing the 8 versus 8, and it just makes it a little bit more chaotic. So we may be tempted to keep smaller teams for better synchronized and better cooperative gameplay.
Right. Now I saw in the demo that you're cloaked a lot of the time and you're going around. Do people have night vision? I mean, like heat thermal to kind of spy you out? Are you pretty much invisible to them at all times unless they have gear like that?
So you're not invisible at all times. It's an imperfect technology. You have to recharge it regularly. If you move too fast or if you're exposed to too strong a light source, such as a muzzle flash, then it's going to break the optical camouflage. However, what's interesting is that using this camouflage, you can actually break out from a fight, whereas the traditional gameplay loop in Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter was to observe, gather information, plan an attack, and get into the fight. Now you'll be able to escape the fight, change your attack angle, and get back into the fight using the optical camouflage.
Right, there's a lot more action-packed and like in the motion and stuff like that. Now I was noticing a lot of the stuff's destructible. Are all the environments destructible like that?
Not all the environments. We don't want to go into destroying buildings as such, but every cover, every smaller object, every pillar that you have will be destructible, so you're going to have to be always on the move.
Awesome. Well, the game looks amazing. When's it due out and on what systems?
It's going to be out in March next year, so you should expect an open beta for the multiplayer around December this year.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we'll see you guys in the next interview. Have a good one.